Today, I'm going to summarize all the material that we've covered in our optimization series, and then talk about what's coming next for the channel. Let's go! Alright, for the last 2 months we've been talking about game optimization. We started the series in the first video by talking about how important optimization is, and establishing that the most important priority for a game has to be performance. We also talked about how important it is for artists to optimize their own work and not just rely on the engineers to do it. And we went over 2 different types of optimization: asset optimization and level optimization. We ended the first video talking about how optimization is a process that should be performed throughout the whole development cycle and not just tacked on at the end. In the second video, I talked about the graphics pipeline and went over each of the operations that happen on the graphics hardware to render objects to the screen. I showed several places in the pipeline that can become a bottleneck, and we also went over forward and deferred rendering, and I talked about the strengths and weaknesses of each rendering style. In the third video, I talked about the optimization steps to take at the very beginning of your project to understand the capabilities of your target hardware and to set rendering budgets. I also discussed how to set up your scene and get ready to analyze it. In episode 4, we started talking about game analysis. It's very important to analyze your game first to figure out what needs optimizing, and then specifically target your optimization efforts to those areas. I mentioned this several times in this series. In this video, I showed how to find out if your project is CPU or GPU bound, so you'll know where to target your optimization efforts. In episode 5, we talked about what to do if you're CPU bound. This episode was mostly centered around reducing draw calls. We went over instancing, batching, occlusion culling, early distance culling, and HLODs, just to name a few, all targeted at reducing the amount of work required to do on the CPU. And in episode 6, we went over what to do if you're GPU bound. We talked about adjusting LODs to reduce the polygon count, and changing post-process effects, overdraw, and dynamic resolution scaling to reduce the cost of rendering pixels. We also went over several different ways to optimize the lighting in your scene. In episode 7, I introduced Pix, which is analysis software that shows all of the operations that are performed on the GPU, along with how long each of them are taking to execute. You can use Pix to find which operations are taking the longest, and then specifically target your optimizations at those targets. In episode 8, we used Pix to specifically identify several parts of our scene that are running slow. We jumped into the scene and applied some optimization settings to those areas, and then measured performance again. In both our Unreal and our Unity scenes, we were able to improve our frame rate using this process. In episode 9, I showed how to use Pix to identify specific draw calls that are taking longer to render. And after making a list of the longest draw calls, we jumped back into our project and applied some optimizations to those draw calls specifically. Doing this in both Unreal and Unity resulted in some nice performance improvements. Finally, in episode 10, I went over a list of things you can do specifically to optimize the shaders in your project. And then we optimized the shaders in both Unreal and Unity to see how much we could improve performance. Wow, we've covered a ton of material here. I really hope that all of this has been helpful for you. If you've been able to use what you learned here to make your game run faster, let me know down in the comments. Here are some key takeaways from this series that I hope you've learned. optimized games are better games. Optimization should be part of the whole development process from start to end. Artists should be active participants in the optimization process. Analyze your scene first and then optimize it. There's no one-size-fits-all solution for optimization. Every game is different, so it's important to use profiling and analysis software like Pix to find what's running slow in your specific case. And then finally, first, find out if you're CPU bound or GPU bound, and then apply optimizations specifically for that processor. All right, so that's the end of our series on optimization. So that brings us to the question of what we're going to cover next. As I mentioned last week, we're going to start a brand new series of videos specifically about terrain shaders in both Unreal and Unity. We're going to cover topics like tile breakup, triplanar projection, tessellation and displacement, auto materials, and more. Unity has just recently announced that in Unity 6.3, Shader Graph is now supported for making terrain shaders. So, I'm going to show you the whole process of making terrain shaders in both Unreal and in Unity. It's going to be great. So, I hope you're looking forward to it and you come back next week ready to learn about terrain shaders. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week.